Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, it is time to continue on in the comic books here, and we're going to talk about two comic books. The first one is Devilworlds, issue number 2, written by Alan Moore. It's called Talatni Throws a Shape. In this one, Leia is on the run from stormtroopers where she discovers some dusty remains of stormtroopers that died over 8,000 years ago on the planet. Wait a minute, that was even before the Empire. What are they doing there? Then, of course, as the stormtroopers who are pursuing her, capture her, a mysterious being comes. It's Talatni, and she throws a shape. She does weird things to them. She gives Leia a diamond heart and kills her, and she messes up with the stormtroopers too, and she's the one that sends them into the past. And that's why you see the remains later on in the future. And then another being comes, and it has another weird name too. I can't remember it now. I just looked at this comic book. I've already forgotten the weird name that they had. And so then she says, Talatni, and so she restores everything to normal, or what she thinks was normal. Unfortunately, like I said, the stormtroopers are stuck 8,000 years in the past, which explains why their dead bodies were there when Leia finds them. Aha! Now, if you recall, a few months ago, years ago, I can't remember, someone had asked me, am I going to be covering Devilworlds? And I said, no, they were never considered canon, which was true. They were never given that C-canon status. However, I have since been convinced that you can fit it into the EU. Now, I was privy not to have that happen because these stories by Alan Moore in Devilworlds are weird. A being that comes out of nowhere, we don't know what it is, that turns Leia's heart into a diamond. Why? Because it wanted to? What was your thinking behind that? I don't know. And all the Devilworld stories, when I get to them all, are extremely weird. Again, my friend has a good explanation of how everything fits together, so I'm doing this for him, and it does fit right here in the timeline. I remember someone a long time ago saying, hey Matt, you missed this story. And I was like, well, it was never considered canon. And then plus, even though that happened 8,000 years ago, it was actually a story for the present, and you had this sort of, it wasn't time travel really, it was time placement, I guess you could say. But all the Devilworld stories are really weird. Now, these were old Empire Strikes Back Weekly comic books from the UK that were just over there, and then they got reprinted, and I want to say it was just a 2-issue series through Dark Horse called Devilworlds, and I was super excited to see when it came out because it looked really cool. It had the name Alan Moore. Alan Moore is a huge writer within the comic book industry, so I was like, oh, shut up, Alan Moore did some Star Wars, and I was reading them. I was so confused. So to me, this one wasn't so good. Now that's just me. There may be some people who just really love it, but I thought it was really strange. I don't know where Alan Moore was coming from. More on those comic books later. But right now I want to move on to Marvel Comics issue number 35. Now this is where Darth Vader finally discovers Luke's full name. And also in the comic book, Luke encounters some kind of space bat, pterodactyl thing, monster, just a monster of the week that he has to defeat. Oh, and he encounters Darth Vader as well. All in a day's work, right? Now, I had forgotten about this encounter between Luke and Darth Vader because in my mind it only happened once, and that was in another book I haven't covered yet called Splinter the Mind's Eye. Now, it does happen in the comic books too, which should not surprise me. Luke and Vader are destined to meet each other again, right? The comic books just couldn't stay away from that story. They couldn't save it for the movie. They wanted to go ahead and have the confrontation now, and that's because everyone wanted to see that confrontation. Now, will that confrontation impact, if you're reading everything in chronological order and watching the movies as well in between of Empire, does it cheapen Empire? And well, I'll talk about that next time with another video.